Hey there, fellow gardeners. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent more money on fertilizers than you care to admit. I'm talking bags of synthetic nutrients, bottles of liquid plant food, and those fancy organic blends that promise the world but empty your wallet. Well, what if I told you there's an ancient Korean gardening technique that could help you ditch store-bought fertilizers for good? I know it sounds too good to be true, but stick with me here because this is gardening gold. Let me introduce you to Korean natural farming, or KNF as it's affectionately called in gardening circles. This isn't some trendy new hack that'll disappear next season. We're talking about a time-tested agricultural philosophy that's been perfected over generations in South Korea. The genius behind modern KNF is Master Cho Han-kyu, who developed these techniques based on traditional farming wisdom combined with deep observation of nature's patterns. The core principle is beautifully simple. Everything your plants need already exists in your local environment. Instead of importing synthetic nutrients or expensive organic amendments, you're capturing and cultivating the beneficial microorganisms and nutrients that naturally occur right in your backyard. It's like creating a self-sustaining ecosystem where your soil feeds your plants feed the soil, and the cycle continues without you constantly reaching for your wallet. Here's where things get really exciting. The cornerstone of this Korean technique is something called indigenous microorganisms, or IMO for short. Think of these as your soil's dream team, the beneficial bacteria and fungi that break down organic matter, make nutrients available to plants, and protect against diseases. These microorganisms are already thriving in the healthiest spots around your property, and you're going to learn how to capture and multiply them. The beauty of IMO is that it's perfectly adapted to your specific climate and soil conditions because it literally comes from your environment. No need to order expensive microbial inoculants that may or may not work in your garden. You're working with the home team and they know exactly what to do. Now, let's get our hands dirty with the actual technique. You'll need cooked white rice, about 2 to 3 cups, and a wooden or bamboo box with a breathable lid. Avoid plastic or metal containers because they can interfere with microbial growth. If you don't have a wooden box, a cardboard box lined with paper works just fine. Here's what you do. Fill your container loosely with the cooked rice, leaving it fluffy and not packed down. The rice acts as a perfect medium for capturing microorganisms because it's rich in carbohydrates that beneficial microbes absolutely love. Now comes the crucial part. You need to place this container in an undisturbed natural area where the soil is rich and healthy. Look for spots under mature trees, near the edge of forested areas, or anywhere you notice lots of healthy, decomposing leaf litter. I like to place mine under an old oak tree in my backyard where the soil is dark and crumbly. You'll want to cover the rice with breathable fabric or paper to keep out insects and larger critters, while still allowing air circulation. Within 3 to 7 days, you'll start seeing white, zartas nasa cycle din per day, buffas nasanum, fatan no day per napern, aber they do decisive growth covering the rice. This is exactly what you want. These are the indigenous microorganisms colonizing your rice medium. Once your rice is covered with that white, fuzzy growth, and it should smell sweet and slightly fermented, not rotten, it's time to multiply these beneficial microbes. Go ahead and mix your colonized rice with an equal amount of brown sugar or organic cane sugar. The sugar preserves the microorganisms and gives them food to continue thriving. Now, combine this mixture thoroughly in a glass jar or food-grade plastic container, filling it only about 2/3 full to allow for expansion. Be sure to cover it loosely because the mixture will produce gases during fermentation. Store this in a cool, dark place for about 7 days. What you're creating here is called IMO2, and it's basically a concentrated microbial powerhouse. After this fermentation period, you'll have a stable product that can be stored for months. The sugar acts as a preservative, keeping your beneficial microbes in a dormant but viable state until you're ready to use them. When you're ready to use your IMO, it's time to wake up those sleeping microbes and put them to work. Mix 1 part of your IMO2 with 1 part water and 10 to 20 parts of additional ingredients like wheat bran, rice bran, or even finely ground leaves and kitchen scraps. This creates IMO3, which you'll pile up and let ferment for another 4 to 7 days, turning it every couple of days to maintain proper aeration. The pile should feel warm to the touch. That's the microbes working their magic. When it cools down and has an earthy, pleasant smell, you've created IMO4, which is ready to be incorporated into your garden soil. Mix it into your beds at about 5 to 10% of your total soil volume, and watch what happens. Here's the thing about synthetic fertilizers that nobody really talks about. They're like fast food for plants. Sure, you get quick results, but you're not building long-term soil health. In fact, repeated use of synthetic fertilizers can actually harm the beneficial microbial life in your soil, creating a dependency cycle where your plants need more and more fertilizer to perform. The IMO approach works differently. You're not just feeding your plants, you're feeding the soil ecosystem. These beneficial microorganisms break down organic matter into plant-available nutrients, improve soil structure, increase water retention, and even produce natural plant hormones that promote healthy growth. It's a complete soil transformation that keeps giving season after season. I've personally seen my tomatoes grow bigger, my peppers produce more abundantly, and my soil become darker and more crumbly after implementing this technique. Even better, my plants seem more resilient to pests and diseases because healthy soil creates healthy plants with strong natural defenses. The beautiful thing about this Korean technique is its flexibility. You can start small with just one container of IMO and scale up as you see results. I recommend beginning with a small section of your garden, or even just a few container plants so you can observe the difference firsthand. Remember that this is a living system, so consistency matters. Plan to refresh your IMO applications every few weeks during the growing season. Many gardeners also create liquid versions by diluting IMO in water and using it as a foliar spray or soil drench for a quick microbial boost. This technique works for everything from vegetable gardens to ornamental beds, fruit trees, to houseplants. Once you understand the basic principle of capturing and cultivating beneficial microorganisms, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere to build soil health naturally and sustainably. Friends, this Korean backyard trick isn't just about saving money on fertilizer, though that's certainly a nice bonus. It's about reconnecting with natural growing methods that have sustained farmers for centuries while building truly healthy, living soil in your own backyard. If you found this information valuable, hit that subscribe button on Grow with Soil so you never miss our practical gardening wisdom. And please share this with your fellow gardeners who are ready to transform their soil naturally. Let's grow together.